just made it back from the forest. I have been digging around for, that's right, a big bad boy feral predator. I've been bringing you guys some sweet predator stuff for the past few years. First with the Predator, then of course a review of Predator Hunting Grounds, then we checked out the Alpha Predator, and then those Leonard action figures. Oh yes, but today we are talking about the latest installment in the Predator franchise. Oh yeah! Welcome back to I Love. I am Podan, OWLF agent. And that's right, I have been scouring the forest for Predator knowledge just for you guys. And now we're gonna take a quick peek at a bunch of awesome stuff with the newest installation, Prey. We're going to check out a little bit of how I felt about the movie, some sweet-ass knowledge that I have about it, connections, sequel ideas, and the Predator timeline up to now. First of all, a little bit of production information. This movie was, and I know I'm going to butcher his name, but it was directed by Dan Trachtenberg. He would be known from 10 Cloverfield Lane. Sorry about that, Dan. I'm terrible with names. This movie was, of course, produced by John Davis, the producer of all Predator films to date. That, to me, says that they're all connected in some way or another. And then, of course, we have starring Amber Mid-Thunder as the main character Naru, Dakota Beavers as Tabe, her brother, and the Predator was Dane DeLegro. And an important cool note about this film is that John Davis started the production with some of these guys all the way back in 2016 while he was producing and creating The Predator. Now, a quick summary of the film as I see it. A predator comes to Earth in 1719 for his first hunt. Upon working his way up the food chain, he encounters a Native American Comanche tribe and soon finds himself to be the prey of Naru. Oh yes. Now, I like this movie not just because it's a Predator movie, that's fantastic. It has a few things that would interest people who don't just watch Predator or monster movies. And those special features is that this is actually the first American film to have an entire Native American cast. That is pretty sweet. Also, a pretty sweet part of the film is that the main character is a woman in a Native American tribe, and instead of going with the norm of being a gatherer, she would like to be a warrior, like the men. And she feels like she can be a warrior. So these two facts and features of the film make it a far more watchable and approachable movie for others than just us Predator fans. So right away, I want to warn you, there's going to be tons of spoilers in this review video after this point, because you gotta spoil a whole bunch of it, because everything about this movie was fantastic. So if you haven't seen the movie, get to it. This is your final warning to go watch it, because it's amazing. So here we go. I want to tell you a few of my favorite parts or pieces of Predator lore or additions that have been done in this film. Now, this is a simple thing that I feel like is very easily overlooked, but we finally got to see it in this movie. We saw the Predator actually jumping up in the treetops, which we know the Predator had been doing this all the way back in '87 in the first movie when he was in the jungle. So this is an amazing thing. I love technology and how far we've come to see the Predator in all his glory, just jumping from tree to tree. Next, let's check out a couple of my very favorite kills in this movie. 3 quick ones. The guy who gets his head cut off, the French trapper guy, with the Predator's shield gauntlet thing. That was an awesome shot, and you even get a little Predator characteristic. He, kind of at the guy after he chops his head clean off. Brutal. Next, similar to a Predator 2 kill, we get a net kill. I'll go more into the net weapon itself in a little bit, but this, of course, was a brutal, awesome kill to see, and a throwback to Predator 2. Gotta love that. Nice. And the last one is when the Predator fights and takes down the grizzly bear. Wow. Now this is also special to me because this sort of happens in a comic book, Predator Primal. And this was an awesome, I feel like, connection to comic book lore, which we'll go into a little bit more in a minute. But let's check out that final blow when that Predator literally punches the bear so hard he snaps his neck. Amazing. And actually kind of a terrifying part when we see the Predator literally, I guess as he picked it up, he must have stabbed it and cut it right open, because he's literally pouring and bathing in his kill's blood. Frickin' awesome. And shot very, very well. It's quite a terrifying part. After still seeing the Predator for so many years, it was kind of scary, especially if I guess I watch movies in the dark, but I do not. Next, a sweet part that, again, like I said in my Predator review for The Predator, I like when you see the Predators act like characters rather than monsters. And this was a fantastic part of that. When Naru is, she sees all of the birds flying and she discovers the field of dead buffaloes. This was incredible because she was saddened. It's a neat little piece of history. Trappers all across our country, that's what happened to the buffalo. Very sad. But she puts a leaf and says kind of a prayer on the buffalo's head. At this point, the Predator has been tracking her and following her because of the dog barking a little earlier. But he comes to this moment and knows she was there, reaches out, grabs the leaf, and he keeps it. Fantastic. I love those character moments for the Predator. So neat. Maybe he's respecting her or something like that. It's awesome. I love those moments. Next is a super shiznit, awesome, fantastic moment. Tabi, however you pronounce his name, I'm always terrible. I think it's Tabi. But after they get free of being the bait, you don't actually see him do it, but the Predator, right before they get away, threw his spear through a guy and it got stuck in a tree. This must be where he got the Predator's combi stick / spear weapon, because towards the final battle, Tabi's final battle, he comes riding in the horse, and this is amazing, but he jumps up in the air off that horse and throws the spear down through the Predator's shoulder blade, and it is such a badass moment. And then he, of course, goes on to just arrow the fuck out of this guy. It is pretty awesome, and it's got to be one of the best fights in Predator history, I would have to say. It would have to be, definitely, the Predator battle in this movie between Tabi and Naru. Then it's Danny Glover versus Predator 2 City Hunter. And then it's the Predator, the duel with the assassin at the end. But so good, so good. So let's take a look at that awesome action real fast. super action-packed, right? Oh my god. I love those shots like that. Next, not an action-packed scene, but just something neat to see in the movie, and that is Naru's relationship with her dog. This was so sweet and very loving to see in the movie, and rather than have human, I guess, friendship with her to lose along the journey of tracking or hunting the predator or being hunted by the predator.
Next time you're cooking. There you are.
I saw some really cool things that I would like to call out as, you know, like nods to the original films, all the ones that came before, and the way that like I kind of interpreted some of the things that we see in the movie. So, a cool one right off the bat is the French trappers, they bleed tabi. Now, this is very similar to Billy, who is also a Native American. I believe he was a Sioux Native American, but he bleeds himself to take the predator off of Dutch and his friends so they can get away, and he can battle them. Of course, we know how that fight goes, but it seemed very cool to see this call out to the original film. Next, the feral predator himself, to me, they changed the face again. I gotta say, I don't really like when they change the face of the predator. Stan Winston, in all his glory, created the ultimate beast in that original face. I feel like they did a cool upgrade to that face for the assassin predator. But luckily, thanks to Shane Black's movie, any predator that's face is different. You know, the berserker, and now this guy, the feral predator, they're just part of that hybrid clan, right? So that's what I believe that this predator actually is. He's another one of these versions of these hybrid predators trying to make themselves superior hunters. And he was a little bit bulkier and bigger, bigger with that bigger head after his helmet came off. And that to me explains why his face looks the way it does. Next, a super cool nod to the Predator movie. And I don't know if a lot of people saw it, but in Predator 1, the Predator kills Blaine by, scaring a skunk out to trick him and then blasting him in the back. In this movie, the feral does it with possums. The Native American dudes go out thinking, oh yeah, it's just possums. Blah, blah, blah. Speared to death, and then, of course, an amazing, amazing fight scene after that. This was a really neat one to me. So, the original badass line in Predator was when Anna starts cooperating with Dutch, and she finally tells him, I don't know what it was. But when the big man was killed, his blood was on the leaves. And then Dutch turns to her and says, if it bleeds, we can kill it. Now, that was fantastic because Naru and Tabi have an exact moment of this, slightly changing up the line in a very good way.
There is something else. When the big man was killed, you must have wanted it. Its blood was on the leaves.
If it bleeds, we can kill it.
I don't know that this thing can be killed.
If it bleeds, we can kill it.
Awesome. This next one is a thing that I like to see in sequels. In the original movie, specifically when he kills Billy, we see this cool shot, because this is right when Arnold is going to be prepping for the fight, and so is the Predator. So what we see is he gets the skull and he plops it down, and it's all gory and nasty, and then we see smoke just woof cover the screen. In Prey, they show us that the feral predator has special gas when you're on the hunt that you can spray over your trophy, your take, and it'll clean it off, and then you can just hook it right on your belt, nice and clean. This, to me, was almost like a, hey, we'll explain that thing that happened in the original movie finally. and done very well. That is awesome. A little canister of dissolvent gas for the Predators. Super cool. Final one, the laser. The laser sight for this Predator's helmet is a total callback to the Predator. In the Predator, very much like how, you know, the laser on the helmet can only hit that thing, his spear caster weapon. The Predator, in the Predator, his helmet has a blaster that shoots, but it only shoots in self-defense. Like these weapons, you know, this calls back to the Alpha Predator toy, where the Predators themselves don't even fully know what their weapons can do, because they acquire some of their stuff from the hunt. Super, super cool. I love those callbacks to all of the movies. You have to take account all of the movies. Every one of them. That's one of the particular favorite moments in The Predator to me, is the fact that in The Predator, he pays homage to everything, including AVP. Because John Davis, the producer of these movies, he's produced them all. I'm sure in his mind, they all exist. There's nothing not existing or he wouldn't make it. So, in this movie, we got to see some badass Predator tech and gear. So let's take a quick peek at each piece. So, the Predator had cloaking technology, very much like every Predator we've ever seen. I wouldn't say it's newer or older, it's just their version of this technology. And because of the Predator clans and the way that they get their technology, every Predator could have a different version of this. In some way, maybe they got them from different species, whatever. The skull-covered mask. This was a sweet nod to, I feel like, the Alpha Predator action figure that NECA did, that we talked about a while ago. Check that video out. But I think most people are seeing his mask as just a skull. But if you see, when they knock it off a couple times, there is a mask with a skull over it. Same with his gauntlets. He has like bone, or even it's carved to look that way, which is super cool. Retracting shield from gauntlet, that was a super, super cool weapon and a neat addition. Never seen anything like that just yet. His wrist blades were neat, very, very classic-like, but you know, longer, like we've seen since Predators and AVP, which is a sweet touch. We gotta have longer blades, always. A new addition, the snap blade. I don't know why, but this reminded me of those 90s snap bracelets, but it was a cool weapon, because not only was it like a short dagger knife, he could fling it at stuff. It could cut through metal. He could throw it almost like a boomerang, or like his smart disc weapon, actually, like replacement for it. Neat weapon. His net balls. These are definitely an upgrade to what we saw to be the net weapon in all previous movies. The net weapon, all the way from Predator 2 to AVP and beyond, has just been a net that you shoot and the thing gets stuck to the wall. Now in this movie, wow, thank you for this upgrade. It's a sweet-ass ball that it like projects out the net, and then the ball it's still connected to, so it like drapes over, and then it pulls the net through the thing it's captured back into itself to be thrown again. Brutal and awesome. Super awesome upgrade to the Predator 2 net weapon. Next, he has a spear blaster rather than your traditional plasma caster. This is fantastic because there have been Predators in other comics and things that don't just have, you know, the plasma caster. There was even action figures where they have like spear guns instead. So super cool change of pace, let's say. Traditional weapon, of course, the Predator combi stick. This was neat because it was actually 3 weapons, because it was a retractable combi stick that he pulls out. It's like this long, and but then it splits in 2. One half was a sword, and the other half was a mace battle club. Wow. And they show him using both. Super cool. And of course, Tabi uses this to spear the Predator, and Naru gets this and uses it at the end, and then the Predator, super cool, he like uses his technology to shut down and collapse the spear, so she can't even use it to its full capability to fight him with it. Very neat. Next, we have, this was a cool one, and it took me a couple watch throughs to even notice what was going on, but the Predator very much like the classic Gauntlet bombs, and I'm not sure, because the Predator died too fast, to know if this was a replacement for, the Gauntlet self-destruct bomb, but the Predator actually programs his Gauntlet and then throws it down during one of those badass jump sequences down by the French trackers, and then smart bombs come out of it that track the guys and pew 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 blow up everything nearby. And then he must, pick it back up and put it on, because he does have it on later on, and he uses it earlier on. That's the thing that Naru saw in the distance. Oh yeah. Super, super cool. Next, another upgrade and better thing than we've ever seen before, the liquid metal Predator bandages. This was freaking awesome. I noticed before I even noticed him using it that he had like chrome scars I kept seeing. Lo and behold, after the French battle, he's got this little thing and he's just like, and yeah, he's got like this liquid metal mercury instant healing metal bandage. And I don't know what universe you guys are from, but this is definitely something that is way more advanced than the Predator 1's weapon healing box, which was like a shot and stitches, which hurt like hell. And of course the Predator 2's box, which was that big box, and then he has to use wall plaster to melt his poor arm, and that hurts like a motherfucker too. Wow! So yeah, the liquid metal bandages, that is some advanced Predator technology and super cool. And of course, the trophy cleaning gas that we spoke of earlier. Super cool Predator gear in this movie, and some things way more advanced than stuff we had seen in the past, for sure. Next, let's check out some cool Predator facts that I found in here. Some stuff that I mentioned a little bit, but let's go into more detail now. So, one of the things I really liked about this movie is that it kind of pulls from a story from comic book past, and I said its name before, and that is Predator Primal. Predator Primal is an awesome story because it's an older story where a predator comes to Earth, and it's very much like he hasn't seen humans before, so he's actually killing animals up the food chain, which is exactly what we see in this movie. In this one, it's like a deer, then a bear, a baby bear, which brings him to the mama bear, who kicks his frickin' ass. It is a super awesome fight. If you haven't seen it, make sure to read that comic. But in Prey, the Predator starts off, with the snake. Then it goes to the wolf. Then I believe it's the bear. Then it's people. Oh yeah. And then, of course, he becomes the prey. So, very cool premise. And also, not explored often, even in comic books, to see the Predator actually kill Earth animals up to us. So, very cool. Next, in this film, a very cool fact, which I'm sure there's a lot of people asking it, so let's answer this question. Why is the movie called Prey? The movie is called Prey because the Predator himself is the prey this time. In this movie, Naru sees the Predator's ship, and then she is literally tracking him from the moment he gets to Earth. And then, like, halfway through her journey, he stumbles upon her, and then it's like a we're hunting each other type of thing up to the bear moment. And then, of course, when she, the Native Americans catch her, and then, boom, all hell breaks loose, right? So, very cool premise that the Predator is the prey. But it's not new! Oh my god. You guys need to watch Predator 2 again, because Gary Busey's character, Peter Keyes, is actually part of a government organization called the OWLF, the Otherworldly Life Forms. And in that department, they have been searching for predators since 1987, the Arnold incident, okay? And this is part of Predator lore within just the first few movies. And this happens right in the beginning of the movie. So, in Predator 2, the Predator is also prey. And then, of course, Danny Glover's character, notices him on the rooftop. Hartigan, I think, maybe? I'm so terrible with names. But after he sees him on the roof, after he kills the Scorpios, and then, of course, after Danny, his best friend, Danny Boy, gets killed, wow, he is hunting that predator so freaking hard that predator doesn't even know what the hell to do when he busts in that goddamn meat facility. So, very cool to see again, but definitely not new. The predators have been subject to being our prey a few times before. Very cool to see. Now, of course, a lot of movies feel the need to explain things that I feel like don't need explaining, but I'm not mad because we need to see where it's going to go. But let's talk about the pistol. The pistol that she gets from the guy. Yes, that guy, if you check the credits, that's his name. I can't pronounce his name, but the name on the pistol from Predator 2 is the guy that they've put in this movie. Originally, even when I was a kid, what I saw that scene as, I didn't see that ever, as that is the first time a predator ever came to Earth and hunt people, okay? What that signified was, Danny Glover's character's great victory over that predator. He kicked that predator's ass. And not to mention kicking his ass, but in front of his clan. They were watching. They saw this throwdown, this epic battle. And then the elder predator, he tosses him this pistol after, watching his other men take his fallen brother out of the field. He tosses him that pistol. Originally, it came from a pirate captain in a comic, Predator 1718, which was retconned now because of the scene in the movie. Not a big deal. We'll go into that more. But, as I was saying, I feel like he threw the thing at him because he knew that there was other people looking for the Predator too. They're not stupid creatures. They're not dumb monsters, So he threw him the thing, and he gets it. He looks at it, and he's like, wow, 1715. Holy shit. And then he sees the OWLF agent on the way out at the very end of the movie. And the guy's like, oh my God, we lost our chance. We've lost our chance. What have you done? And he's like, don't worry, asshole. You get another chance. To me, that meant that predators have been coming here forever, and they will be here again. And also, we'll get into more in a minute, but there's definitely more stuff in the canon lore that signifies that the predators have been here before 1719, hunting people. Which gets us to our next point. In Predators, I don't mean to harp, I just want people to know the facts and everything that are in these movies. Because again, not everybody's going to watch them all the time. That's what weirdos like me are for. I'll watch the movie a dozen times and tell you all the weird things in it. In Predators, the Yakuza guy, in the scene when they are trapped in Nolan's little, scavenger hideout, he finds that katana when he's talking to Topher Grace's character. And this is a cool scene because this is a suggestion scene. Okay, he picks up the sword. It's a katana. I looked into this, because I wanted to know. That katana is a special katana. And why it's important is because he picks it up and he says that this is old. They have been doing this a very long time. Now, the katana suggests that the predators have been here sometime between 1147 and 1876 for that sword to be there. And also, this piggybacks off of the lore added with Predator Hunting Grounds' game, where they built out a ton of stuff that takes place between all the movies. Predators have been coming here since, ancient Egyptian times. Since, before that, feudal Japan, fighting samurais, fighting, Zulu warriors, Native Americans. There is no first time they've been here and no reason to show it. AVP told us when they first came here. They taught us in exchange for the great hunt of the xenomorph. And of course, this goes right into the next point. AVP tells us that predators came here thousands of years ago. They taught, this old, thrown out back planet's race, human beings, how to be civilized and how to build things. That's why when you go to the AVP planet in Predator 2, you see pyramids and things, and that's why we built things like that, because the predators taught us how to do this. I absolutely love that lore. Yes, there's cheesy things in AVP 1 and 2, but the lore is too awesome to forgive. And comics and video games have followed that lore since they laid it down in AVP 1 and 2. Oh man! So much Predator stuff to go into. I absolutely love new Predator movies, new Predator things to talk about, and add to this awesome movie franchise. A special thing I wanted to do, in case, some people aren't aware of certain things, there is a certain list of things that I deem as canon to the Predator franchise. The overlaying story that gets you from Predator 1 all the way to Prey, okay? And I guess back and whatever, right? So let's get into all of those things. And I'm going to tell you when they were released chronologically, then I'm going to tell you the pieces of the movies that and where they go in the timeline. Let's hit it. So, back in 1987, the original badass was made, Predator. The sequel, 1990, comes out. Oh yes, Predator 2. He is coming into town with just a few days to kill. Then, it took a while, but in 2004, Alien vs. Predator finally came out, and like a long-awaited dream finally happened. Then, 2005, the greatest Predator video game ever to be made, Predator Concrete Jungle, came out. If you have not played it, at least go watch someone play through it. The story is so incredible that NECA made a figure for it. Oh yes. Then, in 2007, we have Alien vs. Predator Requiem. 2010, Predators came out. In 2018, The Predator came out. 2020, the great multiplayer game Predator Hunting Grounds came out. And the thing that makes this game so great, if you don't want to play it, don't play it. Get online and watch all of the tapes. Listen to the tapes. Dudes, everybody. They put in so much effort. The audio logs of Gary Busey's son, Jake Busey, I think it's, he's a Keys, but Sean Keys, I think is his name. But he did tons of actual recordings to fill out the lore of, his character, how he got to working with Stargazer and OWLF after his father died. Oh my god, so much stuff. Like, nobody can do anything to discredit that work, because they did so much. And then, of course, they brought back Arnold Schwarzenegger, guys. We now know what happened to Dutch and how he's killing Predators' asses all the time now, along with Isabella's character from Predators. Oh man, make sure you listen to that stuff at least, but you cannot discredit that. And then, of course, the latest edition, 2022 Prey, just happened on August 4th, I believe it came out. So cool to see the offerings coming out faster and faster, because early on, it was sparse. Now, as I said before, and I would like to mention it, in 1996, after Predator 2 came out, people wanted to know more about that pistol. And there was a comic called Predator 1718. It was a one-shot inside of a Dark Horse Presents comic. And this book told us of where that pistol actually came from. The original tale, in a nutshell, the Elder Predator on his trip to Earth, back when he was younger, back in 1718, they called him the Golden Angel because that's what the pirates called him. But the pirate had the pistol. He was taking treasure, like any pirate does with his crew, to an island to bury it. Oh yes, that's what pirates do. His crew didn't like this. So they're like, we're going to kill your ass, and we're going to take this gold. The Predator has deemed, like, this is my Dutch. I want to kill this pirate captain, and I want him to be my trophy. I'm going to kill all these guys, and I'm going to do this. So, in an awesome team-up, the Predator sees his trophy about to be killed, murdered by a bunch of murderous bandits, pirates, scum. So he comes down, helps the pirate kill all of the crew, and then they're going to square off to do this sweet duel. In the final moment, one crew member survived, murders the captain, shoots him right through the back. The Predator is pissed. He blows away the guy who shot the captain. The guy is still alive, the pirate captain, in his dying breath, hands Elder Predator, Golden Angel, the pistol. He says, "Take this," and then dies. And then the Predator, like, almost confused. You know, at this time, there wasn't many Predator stories. So I'm sure at that time, this was where the trophy thing came from, okay? So basically, the Predator takes this, and he's like, wow, this was honorable. He takes his retractable sword, a super awesome weapon. He buries the captain with his sword, takes the pistol. That's where the pistol originally came from. Which, like I said earlier, it doesn't matter that they retconned this comic, really, because we don't know what's going to happen next, which I'll go into what I think could happen in just a minute. So, a fully compressed timeline of the events of all of those things that I just told you that I feel are canon to the great Predator universe. First things, earliest point of the timeline to the latest point of the timeline. I will tell you the movie it's from, the date, and then the instance of what is occurring. Thousands of years ago... No, wait. Whoa! Podan! You just said what you were gonna do. Oh my lordy. This is from AVP. In thousands of years ago, predators came to Earth, they taught us how to build, and made us civilized beings. And in exchange for this knowledge, they wanted us to sacrifice people to become xenomorphs for a great hunt every 100 years. We don't know when this happened. It was thousands of years ago. Very, very cool. The retconned part of the knowledge was, of course, the 1718 part. But the next thing that would happen is between 1147 to 1876, you know, the berserker predators and the hybrid predators start, you know, scouring the universes, or have been for a long time, you know, great hunters to take to their game world planet. This is from, of course, the Predators movie, and suggested by the katana in that film. Next, 1719, Naru encounters a predator in the Comanche Nation of America. This comes from the newest film, Prey. Then, in 1904, this is from AVP again, predators return to the hunt for the xenomorph hunt, killing an entire whaling operation that are reported to have disappeared. Very cool. Then, now this is a thing that we don't know exactly when it takes place, but we would assume it happens sometime after 1900 to 1987. Now this is Anna in the first Predator film. She tells Dutch and his men, while they are waiting for the Predator in the dark, that her relatives speak of a butcher that comes in the hottest of summers in the woods and kills their men and the hunters and warriors. This is a tale, like a fairy tale, in her people of the jungle. That is a super cool piece of backstory that comes from the very first film. Super cool. Then, in 1930, now this comes from Predator Concrete Jungle, Scarface Predator comes to Earth, and he fails in killing the mob boss, losing his technology and disgracing himself, being banished to an alien world. Oh man. Next, in 1987, the original Predator film, Dutch leads a team into South America, I believe. No, it's Central America. To, you know, they encounter a predator during a rescue operation into Guatemala. That is, of course, the famous movie. Then 10 years later, in 1997, Harrigan encounters a predator and his clan in Los Angeles. Very cool, very cool. Next, in 2004, Wayland leads a team to Antarctica, and they find a predator temple. Xenomorphs are let loose, and great battle ensues. Then, shortly after, the Predator ship, this is now from AVP2, the ship carrying the honored dead of the first victory in the victory in Antarctica against the Xenomorph with the hiker girl. They carry him to the ship, and of course, he unleashes a pred alien because he was impregnated during his trials. Now this is awesome because this ship crashes in Gunnison, Colorado. Now they took the opportunity to throw in something funny. In the cemetery scene, you see a gravestone that says Hawkins. That's right, guys. This is Hawkins's hometown from Predator 1. Oh yes. This is where the Xeno breakout occurs, and of course we see the OWLF at the end of the movie wipe out the city and take the Predator technology to Miss Yutani herself. Oh yes. Next, in 2010, a group of killers are abducted from Earth and brought to the Predator Game Preserve planet to be hunted by the hybrids. This is our first introduction to the hybrid predators. That's why the Berserker looks different. They're bigger, and they are hunting the smaller, normal, classic predators. This is, of course, elaborated upon in Shane Black's Predator movie, The Predator. Next, in 2018, a fugitive predator comes to Earth to find allies to fight off these stronger hybrid predators, basically extincting, the smaller predators and the human species. Very cool movie. I love that one. Next, we have 2020. Predators start coming to Earth more frequently because I think of global warming as the suggested thought, and you are able to join the fire team. This, of course, comes from Predator Hunting Grounds, and in this game you join the fire team of OWLF to hunt off the predators and the evil corporation Stargazer, which we see in the Predator movie. Very, very cool. Now we get the 100-year lapse of Scarface being able to redeem himself from his, follies in 1930. So in 2030, they retrieve Scarface Predator to reclaim his technology and his honor. And of course, this game links AVP, Predator, and Aliens all together by showing us where the original mother computer comes from and explains when the merger could have happened with Yutani, Wayland, and I think it's the Borgia family. Super awesome. Again, like I said, Predator Concrete Jungle is a must-play, or at least a watch. I can give a link in the description below to a edited version I did of the gameplay footage to make a hour-long movie. Watch that, for sure. And of course, if you want to continue the timeline, the next thing that would occur is in 2122, Alien happens with Ripley. And then all the Aliens movies you can go through. I don't include Prometheus, simply because there are things you need to forgive and forget to allow Prometheus to actually be in the timeline, and then also Alien Covenant kind of ruins a bunch of stuff, so I don't want to include those in our classic Predator Alien story mythos timeline. But super awesome, and of course, they really wanted to build this Prey movie as the first time the Predator hunted humans. Now, I don't know why you need to tell us the first of anything. Predator has lived on and been so great at, allowing it to just keep going back further and further and further, and so much further in time than even this movie is, to basically say that, only 300 years ago was when predators first came to Earth and hunted humans. Like, so close-minded to me. So we'll forgive those marketing trailers and, the director saying that in that interview. This was not the first Predator. This was the first time maybe a hybrid Predator or just feral Predator himself came to Earth. Super cool. Final thoughts on this movie. And before we get to the final thoughts, because of course I loved this movie. It's a fantastic addition to the Predator, family of movies. It is an art film. It is the first Native American film. It is, a woman being the hero and being a strong character, all wrapped in a Predator monster movie. So many reasons to watch it. Let's answer some questions that people might have. Because before we do it, the movie had those credit scenes where it showed all those cool cave paintings. And if you missed this, make sure you watch it, because it basically showed a real quick animated version of the whole movie, but at the very end, it shows you after she returned shortly, 3 Predator vessels return. Then the credits go dark. So they are already, establishing we got sequel ideas coming. If we get to make them, it's coming on the way. So I have an extensive knowledge of Predator comics and movies and stuff. So where could this suggest us to go next? And if we get an actual sequel to this movie, what might happen? So I have 2, I want to say normal predictions that I feel like a lot of us could come to, and then my crazy comic booky idea that could be very cool and neat possibility if they try to do it. So, first idea of a sequel and why we see the ships return. In the original Predator comic book sequel to the movie, that's right, Predator Concrete Jungle was the name, not to be confused with the game. This is just, they rebrand it sometimes as Predator. But this is the sequel to the original film, actually, where we get to explore what happened right after the, Dutch incident down in Guatemala. And what this comic suggests is, see, this is where it's funny, because back when that movie was made, it was the first story. So that was the first time in comic Predator history at that moment that a human being defeated a Predator. Obviously, we see it happen in the past and stuff before, but that's how they bill it as in the comic book. So in this story, 3 to 4 to 5 to 6, Predator vessels, the clan of that Predator, come to Earth, and they want to hunt this specimen, this man that could best a Predator warrior. And they can't find him, because in the comics, they establish, and in a behind-the-scenes scene with Gary Busey, they say that Dutch actually, eternal bleedings, radiation poisoning, and to, honor the Predator's death and be they were more equal than we thought, 2 to 3 weeks later after that occurrence, Dutch dies. So that's what originally happened. Thank you, Predator Concrete Jungle, Dutch returned. So originally that's what happened. And because they couldn't find him, the Predators come to Earth looking for him. Luckily, wink wink, Dutch has a twin brother with blonde hair, and they want to hunt him. So they come down and hunt him. They fight him one after another, and they get bested by him, literally until the hunt, it starts raining and all the Predators just stop and they look up and the rain starts pouring on them and they're like, "Rah!" And they're like, the hunt is done, and they leave. And that's the original sequel to the Predator movie, before the Predator 2 movie happened. And that is what possibly I think could be happening. The Predators come back, and they're like, holy crap. Because remember, they want this to be the first time Predators came to Earth, and if they're going to do that, maybe the Predators come down, and they want to challenge this Earthling, this human being that bested a Predator warrior. Wow. That could be an idea in a whole movie in itself, right? That's number 1. Number 2, a much simpler idea that we've kind of seen in, Predator 2 AVP. And we've seen it in a lot of the comic books. So the quick answer to what happens at the end is the ships come simply to reclaim their fallen brother's body and all of his technology, because the Predators can't leave the technology there, except for trophies. So possibly that's what's going to happen. The Predators come down, she has part of the body and a piece of the technology, so they're going to go get the body, the mask and stuff, and then they're going to come to her and be like, hey, you bested one of us, blah, 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 and maybe they'll do an exchange for something. Maybe they'll give her something cool, and maybe this is how they're going to suggest in these movies that Elder Predator gets the flintlock pistol. It's a pretty cool and easy idea to what could happen next, or just what they're suggesting in that final scene of the credits there. Number 3, the crazy idea. They tried to do it in AVP. Mashinko, the original badass woman that fought alongside the Predator race, has never been realized yet, of course, other than comics. They tried with AVP. The African-American girl did a pretty good job. I really liked her with the alien arm and, you know, the Pred tail spear. And obviously Shane Black liked it because her spear is in the glass case in the Predator at Stargazer Base. Super awesome, so totally part of the Predator timeline. But maybe the Predators are going to come down and be like, wow, we hunt, you bested one of us, you must be badass, you come with us, Naru. Maybe they're going to set up Naru to be Mishinko in a sequel movie, to get, you know, humans into Earth, to get an AVP thing going on. I have no idea. It would be an awesome sequel to Prey, to have, you know, an AVP type of sequel, to get super comic book on it and just go wild with it. I would love that. Final thing to mention, I did look into it, and it seems like the point of this movie being on Hulu is because they would like to do something of a series, possibly with Predator, but also there's going to be an Alien film coming out on Hulu that is supposedly going to be the earliest movie in the Alien timeline, taking place, they've claimed, before Alien. They did not mention Prometheus, I don't think. And then that movie's purpose is to basically have a series as a sequel to it. And they apparently stated that it's not going to just be based on the Alien films. It's going to be based on Aliens vs. Predator comic books. So, a lot of awesome Predator and Alien stuff coming, and I can't wait for this stuff. Please give us what we want. More awesome stories, more action, more comic book, more exploring the characters, not just monster movies, because we don't need monster movies anymore. Predator and Aliens were scary back in 79 and 87 because you'd never seen them before. That's why they were terrifying. You know, when he goes, rah, or when the alien, the freaking chest burster, you know, you're not going to recreate that fear ever again. But we can still make these movies freaking awesome. Let's do some more awesome stuff with these movies. Disney, Fox, you got it all now, so let's just keep it going. All right. I would love to hear in the comments down below something interesting this time. Do you agree with the fact that this movie, you know, Dan, the director, and the marketing team, do you agree that this is the first time that predators hunted human beings? Or do you, like me and probably many other Predator fans, just, it's another Predator film, and it's probably just his first time on Earth? And of course, he got smoked by Naru. Tell me down in the comments below, let's have a Predator chat discussion on the matter, because I am of a firm believer that you don't need to tell me when a movie takes place, or I'll figure it out. I'm going to watch your movie plenty of times, man. I saw Prey 5 times already. The Predator, I saw that beast in the theater 6 times because it was so good. I'm going to watch it plenty of times. You don't have to tell me what's going on in the movie. I'll figure it out, guys. It's okay. But that was an amazing movie, and not just a Predator movie, an amazing cinematic kind of achievement. They've said it was a masterpiece, and I would have to agree. As a Predator film and a monster movie, it is quite a masterpiece. As always, guys, like, subscribe. Whoa. What was that sound? You know, I've been outrunning them for the past couple of years. I wonder if they finally caught up with me. That was extremely close by. Ah! You finally managed to track me down, hey big dog. Ooh, and you are one ugly motherfucker. Let's dance.
alive.